What is going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Saturday, November 11th, 2023, and we are here for I guess you could say a special live stream, as y'all can see by the title. I call it the Great Shill Invasion. And I said I'm definitely going to speak about this today because I could not believe the overwhelming or the influx of people that got so mad at that one post. And we're going to go through the entire post today. We're going to go through all the quoted tweets. We're going to go through all of the responses. The fun really happens in those responses, to be quite honest. And if y'all follow me on X, y'all probably most likely saw that particular post. It has made its rounds immensely since I posted it a few days ago. But before I actually get into everything, let me go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far. We have OC, I Prince Majestic, Martin, Norwood, Cosima Fury, Tracy Stevens, Songwriter Sunny, Rachel Marin, Denise Scales, Lewis Knowles, Chris Vesey, Cool Spider, 225 Girl, Joseph Washington, and we have our first dono of the day, Janesta Coleman, with the $5 super chat. She says, B1, Torian Raymond Loaded and family, happy Veterans Day to everyone. It's my birthday. Well, happy birthday to you, Janesta. Put some birthday cakes in the chat for Janesta and wish her a happy birthday. Definitely a huge supporter of the channel and definitely a huge supporter of the new Black media for sure. And shout out to all of the veterans as well. We have Miss Butterscotch, Jennifer Wade, Till Dog 12, Derek Parker, Retro Gemini 99, Savion Draco 0, Albert Nelson, Ricky Jones, Deneen Grant, Queen of Spades, Don P. Ben Yehuda. Shout out to everybody that is here so far. Make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you are new. I would greatly appreciate it. Shout out to everybody who follows me or subscribe to the Patreon. I think I recorded like 3 Patreon type videos today. One thing now that I'm glad that I'm doing when it comes to Patreon is now it's easy for me to split up what will go on there versus what I will put on here. It actually now has made it even easier for me. At first, it was kind of difficult trying to decide where I was going to put certain type of content at. Now it's easier for me to decipher. Shout out to everybody in the Discord, all of my members on here. Just everybody. Shout out to everybody. Let's see. We got Andrew Gwinyard in here as well. We have Sa, Miss Beautiful. Shout out to you. Bonafide Hustler. Shout out to you. I'm glad that everybody is here, or as many people are here right now on this early Saturday afternoon. Yeah, so as y'all can see by the title, it's called The Great Shill Invasion. And there, like I said, I put up a post on Twitter where some shills got very bent out of shape with what I had to say. But for those of y'all who follow me again on X or Twitter, y'all have seen the post. But for those of you who do not, y'all are going to get an insight today on what it was like dealing with that madness a couple days ago. Some people I responded to, some people I just had to leave them where they were at. I haven't responded to anybody on that post in the last couple of days. So it might be some posts that come up there and pop up that I have not seen yet, and I will be seeing for the first time today. But I just want y'all to get an insight to how ridiculous some of these people sound. I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes and then we will go ahead and get started. It says I have 83 people in here watching right now. Let's see if we can get it over 100 in the next couple of minutes. And again, make sure y'all go ahead and hit the like button too. And shout out to Denise for sending over the $10 super chat. I would greatly appreciate that. She says, for all that you do, keep it coming, Torian. Most definitely. And thank you again for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. And I think this is the first time I'm ever doing a stream where I'm calling out these shills like this. But I said, I don't want to. I said, this is an opportunity that I just cannot let slip through my fingers. So why not? And I had time today. So here we are. Shout out to Vintage Clothing Apparel. You said, we are in here. Yes, we are. All right, y'all. It is officially 2:10. So I'm going to go ahead now and share my screen. Now, before I actually get into the post itself, I want to give a shout out to Black Alpha Network because he posted something up from one of the leaders of the Shill group, Roland Martin, where he posted this video, and I'm going to read to you what Black Alpha posted up. He says, Roland Martin tells Black people to shut up and vote in the 2024 election. This type of disrespect is the reason why the Black vote is leaving the Democratic Party. Now, let me just tell you this right now. I am unaffiliated. I have no allegiance to either party, but even when you say that, they'll be trying to say that you're bad for business. Oh, well, I guess it is what it is. So let's go ahead and see what Roly Poly got to say.
All right, folks, the recent Louisiana primary shows Black folks are simply not showing up at the polls like they did when Barack Obama ran for president in 2008.
I've had a number of folks who are millennial and Gen Z talk to me complaining about all sorts of stuff. And I said, it's real simple. Shut up and vote. Shut up and vote. Shut up and vote. Shut up and vote.
Shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble. Shut up and dribble.
Shut up and vote. Shut up and vote. Shut up and vote.
Shut up and dribble.
Shut up and vote. Shut up and vote. Shut up and vote. And they were like, well, it's not that simple. I'm like, no, actually it is.
So that's the clip right there. And shout out to Black Alpha. I don't know if he edited that part right there, but as you can see, both sides of the spectrum sound exactly the same. And I like that that was clipped and pieced together like that. You had Roland Martin telling Black people to just shut up and vote. Who are you to tell people to just shut up and vote and you don't know what you're doing? Like, you're literally walking into the lion's den. And how is that any different than when Laura Ingraham told LeBron James to just shut up and dribble? These are the people that want us to support them to just drop everything and just support something without us asking one question. That's what you call a selfish person. That's a selfish individual. And they sit there and wonder why we are backing away. But they'll have you believe that if we're leaving or not leaving necessarily, but just backing away from the voting process, that means that we're going to go and support the Republicans. We're supporters of Donald Trump. I can't tell you how many times people have tried to lump me into saying that I support Donald Trump because I'm unaffiliated now. They said if you're third party, which is independent, then you are supporting Donald Trump. You're doing this, you're doing that. I'm like, I'm not doing any of those. The only way you can support something is if you actually go down to the voting poll and actually cast your ballot for said person. If I'm not going down there to vote for anybody, what is that really doing? And then they'll hit you with the other guilt trip, the other Jedi mind trick. Well, a non-vote is still a vote. No, the hell it is not. And they only come at us, Black people, Black Americans, with these talking points, these shaming tactics. And it doesn't work anymore. Ms. Butterscotch said that's because that's what they're used to. Well, they better get on. Well, we about to make them real uncomfortable. We're making them real uncomfortable. Because whenever we talk about certain things or want certain things to be brought up, or, you know, in specific for us, they always got to dance around the subject, or they have to always insert or do the people of color thing. We got to find and insert everyone else in there as well, and so on and so forth. So I felt compelled one day to go onto Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it. It's funny they call it X, but you still type in twitter.com to get to the website. I don't know what that's all about. But anyway, that's besides the point. I felt compelled one day to go on to Twitter and type this post on November 7th, 2023, just a few days ago, not even a whole week. And I said, I'm still stuck till this day how Black people voted for a man that said, if you don't vote for me, you're not Black. Also, I can't believe Black people supported a woman who said she wouldn't do anything specifically for Black people while doing everything specifically for others. Since I posted that video at 8:40 a.m. on November 7th, 2023, it has gotten over 30 6,600 plus views and has been responded to almost 80 times, retweeted or reposted 262 times, including quote posts, and 803 likes and 29 bookmarks. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go to the quote post because that's where it's more light. The quoted post is more light in compared to what you're going to see in the responses. In the quoted post, that's where most people was agreeing with what I was saying. And it's also some people who are in the new black media who are there as well. So starting off at the top in the last one, which was Afro Elite, and shout out to Afro Elite, he said exactly and put the 100 emoji. Then we have Beatzilla, shout out to Beatzilla. He said, how exactly is Joe Biden failing? And then he put a like a shoulder shrug emoji plus the finger pointing downwards to the post to direct people to what it is I was saying. Then we have Corey the Truth said facts 100. Then we have this person right here whose name is LCD Barbie. She says, I remember back then when I told the black people around me, let's focus on self-sufficiency as a collective because neither side is doing nothing for us. Many acted like I worshiped the devil. This person right here said black people tolerate disrespect willingly when they've been brainwashed to think one disrespect outweighs the other. Someone else says Hillary pulled out the hot sauce from her bag and that was enough to get them on board. The bar is in hell. Somebody else says, how can we get the most black support without offending racists by lying about what we will and won't do to support black voters? And then in it, they posted, they said at Joe Biden plus at Kamala Harris plus at Barack Obama, and then put this GIF up of Kamala Harris marching with what looks to be like a high school band. Someone else says, what is your point? Okay, so we have our first opposition right here. This one says, what is your point when you tweet this? Shaming voters when it's clear the system is what's fraud. I'm not shaming anybody. I'm just pointing out the facts. And that's the thing that they hate. They hate when you point it out. I'm like, literally, he said this out of his mouth and so did she. Let's not pretend that they did not say that, amongst other things. But those two things stuck out to me the most. And it should have stuck out to people who were planning to vote or did vote for them. Someone said it was then I stopped caring about the community. After that, they learning the hard way right now, and sometimes pain is the best teacher. Somebody else said retweet as much as possible. Another person says grasp the psychological manipulation in that they, as in PC, have studied us and tortured black people for centuries. Generational trauma is real. Self-hate and dysfunction because of centuries of torture and manipulation is real. Someone said it's mind-boggling on the love for Biden Harris. Sadly, some black people will be left behind in the next 10 years from mass immigration and abortion. I'm not even going to read the rest of that, but y'all pretty much get the gist. Someone says, well, Joe got that Obama co-sign, and once they found out that lady was an AKA, they fell in love with her. This person says, how loud can you say stuck on stupid? Someone says, you and me both, bro. You and me both. It still baffles and annoys me to this day. Someone else said you and me both. So as y'all can see, as I'm going down the quoted tweets with that, except that one person who was opposing of it, what I said is pretty much in alignment with what I said. Someone said because in the long run, it was the okay. Here we go. So here's another and this is what I'm talking about: the Great Shill invasion. This person said because in the long run, it was the better option than having a Trump and Republican majority ran country, especially in the beginning of a pandemic. So where are we at now? We have all these south of the Bordarians and not so secret invasioners flooding into the establishment, and that's not under 45. I said if the pandemic didn't happen in 2020, 45 would have most likely got reelected. But because that did occur and he didn't handle it properly, that's why he didn't get the votes, or he didn't get reelected. Someone else said absolutely insane, I swear, so on and so forth. Y'all pretty much get the gist. Okay, so that's all the quoted tweets. Now we about to really get into it. Now y'all about to really see some nonsense here. And it starts off at the top with this post right here. So this person wrote and said, now keep in mind what the original post is right here so people can understand what it is. Someone said, oh yes, because Trump was clearly on our side. I wouldn't judge too harshly. People wanted to simply be reminded in how they felt under Obama. Biden was close to that magic. That's why. Don't overthink it. Trump, by the way, is still not our goddamn friend. We never said Trump was on our side. We just said why both of them were not good. We just because we pointed out the flaws doesn't mean that we was in support of somebody else. See, apparently it's against the rules as black people to go against the grain. Well, like they say, rules are meant to be broken, and we're breaking them right now, if there are any rules to be broken. Then I come back and reply and say, I hope you don't think I'm some kind of Trump supporter simply because I wrote this post. Then they reply back with, you make it seem like not voting is so viable or vote for Trump. See, they're going to that part where, oh, if you don't vote for Trump, if you don't vote at all, then that's a vote for him, which is the talking point I said that they like to use. This is neither choice there is exactly warming to the soul, especially for us. Screwed either way. The only reason why sitting out might be a better choice this time around is because there is no question with all the handouts that have been directly given out to other racial groups, we are more collectively saying enough. I said, I'm doing what works for me. I can't speak to what anyone else feels about that. Now, peep this. Now, peep what this person replied to as it is pertaining to what I just said. It says, and yet people follow you, so they are more likely to take what you say and weigh that much more heavier than me or anyone else here. No, you're not responsible for their voting choices, but don't pretend you aren't influencing their choices either. So because I have a somewhat of a decent following on here, on this platform and on YouTube, whatever I say is supposed to sway people to do whatever it is that I do. Apparently, I'm waving around my hand over a crystal ball and telling it to go out and enter into the minds of the masses and telling them to become an independent voter or to not vote at all, according to what this person wrote. Don't worry, there's some more replies here. Like I said, we're going to be here for a little bit. Then I replied back to them with, you are giving me way too much credit. Besides, many of them who follow me already had their mind made up years before I gained this following. They replied with, perhaps, but with great following comes great influence. Let me see what else did they say. And then it goes into like some of my followers or my subscribers and supporters jumped in and started to go at him for the nonsense he was saying. So shout out to Loki Darkstrong. He says, based on your post, you seem to be more concerned about the numbers of followers Torian has than about the actual politics of the day. Plus, what type of influence are you implying should come from him to those who visit his page here on Twitter? He replies with, I'm just citing the obvious. He has a platform, number one. It reaches a ton of people, number two. We really going to pretend when someone cultivates a following in any significance, people don't take their opinion a bit heavier than, say, a barber's conversation. Give me a break. I'm not saying what kind of influence he shouldn't have or should have, but I can't be unrealistic and pretend his opinion doesn't weigh more either. Like I said, this person is giving me a lot more I guess you could say, power, so to speak, than I thought I had, or influence, so to speak. Loki came back and says, I don't give breaks from your reply, despite what you're saying to the contrary. You apparently do have a concern regarding whatever influence comes from Torian's page. In this case, his political opinions in regards to our community politics. And then he replies that then you are reading me wrong. I actually agree with the stance, just not as to how and why our people voted for Biden. Right, hooligan. He tried to quote Spider-Man with great power comes great responsibility. I was like, did you remix that? I almost replied with, did you remix that? That's really all it is, hooligan. They are scared right now. And like I said, we only at the beginning, y'all. This is just the beginning. And the crazy part about it is this conversation with this Dre Morrell person is not even the worst response that I got. This is actually very tame compared to what you're going to see later on. Because it's like 3 threads within this one in particular, but this one's very light and tame compared to what you're going to see. And one thing about the Loki Dark Strong page, Dark Song, I don't know why I keep calling him Loki Dark Strong, Loki Dark Song, he will go back and forth with you until he gets the last word and you concede. But I'm not going to read the whole thing because most of the thread at this point now is a conversation between them two. At this point, I've completely tuned out. So y'all pretty much get the gist of this person right here. They're trying to say that I have a following. I should watch what I say. And, you know, you never know how that's going to change people's ways or switch them up and all types of nonsense like that. So that's that post. So let me go back and I'm going to continue to scroll down and you're going to see some more of what people had to say. So we have this person right here whose name is Sam, and she looks Asian, and she posted a link to this website called skyplaza.com, and I guess they sell apparel or whatnot. And she said, I need this cup in my life. And the cup reads, I love it when I wake up and Trump is not president. I don't even know how this heifer even found my page. And I replied to her with, go buy it. Why are you telling me? That's the only thing I ever gave to her. That's the only response that I gave her. And shout out to some of the people that's who did reply down there who have some common sense, such as Cosmo Fury, which is, I believe he's in the chat right now. We had GBS, Great Black Shark. He replied as well. Black Voltron Reloaded did as well. Now, here's another person who decided to combat against me. This person whose name is the Brown Bomber 87. Now, like I said, now here's where it gets even more interesting with some of the stuff that's been said. So this person said, as opposed to voting for an outspoken Nazi supporting bigot, and shout out to MML 1999 MML 19 for the 1999 super chat. They said no tangibles, no vote. How simple can it be? Cash payment, reparations, and anti-black hate crime legislation. Exactly. It's that simple. And shout out to you for that. But they basically said they're doing the lesser of two evils thing again with this person right here. And I replied to them. I said, who said anything about voting for Trump? Where did I say that anywhere in my post? Do you not know how to read, or are you willfully obtuse like the other shills on this platform? Because now I feel like my intelligence is being insulted when they said that. And then they replied back to me, I'm glad you're so well read and you can use big words. So now they're trying to make it seem like I don't know what willfully obtuse means when I use it often. This is not voting without a solution as part of the problem. And if you are one of those people, keep your opinion as it is moot. And then I replied back with, I'm unaffiliated, so either side can kiss my ass. And then they said, screaming from the void is wild. Let's see, what else did they say? This is the idea. It says Brown is for Black American vote policies, not politics. That strategy is already proven for every other culture and assorted groups. Sadly, some brothers and sisters still don't understand this and believe that politicians have to be our friends for our votes. I think it was some more responses that came from this one as well. I'm not sure. Someone else replied, what big words exactly? I didn't know willfully obtuse was a big word. Someone said Trump literally got elected because black people chose to not vote at all. That's the only reason he won. Same thing happened in Venezuela, and look at how they're doing. Okay. Someone else replied to this person and said, who did you put money behind so that policies can help your people? Voting blindly isn't a solution either. Exactly. And that's what a lot of these shills tend to do. King, it's going to be a lot of moments with some of these responses. Let me see here. Some people said they always seem to think if you're against Biden or Kamala, you automatically support Trump. Exactly. Now look at this one here. A non-vote or a third-party vote is voting for Trump. Here they go. I'm suspicious of most of you Biden naysayers are really Russian actors, like with what happened to Hillary Clinton. So now they want to bring back up the whole Russian bot thing. So that's that person right there. But like I said, there's a little bit more. So we got this person right here whose name they go by the name La Casa de Guccio. Sounds Italian. They said, come on now, this is ridiculous. No, what's ridiculous is the fact that you're using Kerry Washington's picture as your avatar. That's what's ridiculous. And that's no jab at Kerry Washington. Someone else said, we still have many that still believe that the DNC have our best interests at heart, but can care less about them and our tangibles. Someone else said, same here. I just don't get it. But if we can be honest, that 2020 was stolen. Someone said it is beyond me. They said a lot of us have very low self-esteem and we wonder why we haven't gained traction and gained entertaining power. This person right here named Acute Care Doctor. They said, what's your point? I just put my point up there, dumbass. Did you not read? Like, it's like I literally put up there the insult that was made, and you're going to sit here and ask, what was my point? Someone else says you get two choices when you vote. Not voting is also voting. No, the hell it is not. What is this? It says come back when you find a more high-minded way. It seems like y'all found the hive-minded way. See what I mean? I'm talking about this is the enemy within y'all. This is what we got to deal with. And the election is less than a year away. We're going to be dealing with this every month leading up into that time. And when they don't get what they want, then they're really going to show their claws. They're going to show them fangs. It says that makes all of us stinking rich. Oh, shut the fuck up. You need to change your name from Jigga Fries to Jigaboo. Who spotted? They don't know what they're talking about. Like I said, I call it the Great Shill Invasion for a reason. I want y'all to see the BS that they commented with. Someone said, folks still thinking Trump and Biden are our only choices blows me even more. Exactly. Like you do have other options. Granted, they probably ain't going to get far, but hey, you don't have to vote for them. Someone said, believe it happened and they'll do it again. Someone else wrote, black folks still looking for a savior. Someone else says, I didn't, but two people I talked to who did said because as bad as things are and how little we get in return, for example, under delivering on HBCU money, we'll get nothing and be worse off with Trump. The other said to protect Roe v. Wade. And I'm also, like I said, I'm reading a response to the people that also agree with me as well, because I want y'all to see some of the responses they received from other people, like the one I just read. Someone says, I never understood why people that don't vote at all have the most to say about people that actually do vote. I'm just pointing out the obvious, and to piggyback off what this Kenny person said, because we can. We are Americans. We have that right. Y'all comment on sports, music, etc., and don't participate or financially support them either. And it's a free establishment. It's called freedom of speech. We can say whatever the hell we want, and who gonna check us? Someone else said, because black people know which party has their best interest, and it damn sure ain't Trump and the white nationalist party. This person said that the Democrat Party has black people's interests at heart. I'm not going to sit up here and say the other one does either, because neither one does, but this one don't either. And the thing is, none of them are getting anything out of this. They are not getting even crumbs, and they are sitting up here throwing on the cape for them. Someone said, exactly, these MFs on here are fake profiles working overtime to influence black voters to stay home. So apparently now, me posting this, making this post, I'm a fake profile with over 15,000 followers. I'm a whole fake profile where you can actually see my picture and my face on it. Meanwhile, the person who posted this saying about fake profiles, they got a picture up that's not even them. These people are going off of emotions. And like someone else said earlier, they are scared to death of what the outcome could be, because they see that black people as a collective are starting to move away from them. And guess what? If black people want to move away from it, that is our right to do so. We are not bound by contract to continue to support this party. Let's see what else they're talking about. Someone says, I know exactly that feeling, and I wonder why Lyndon B. Johnson keeps rolling in his grave, especially when the Negro-European baby boomers ignore on what he said back then. And this is the famous quote right here. It says, these Negroes, they're getting pretty uppity these days. And that's a problem for us, since they've got something now they've never had before, the political pull to back up their uppityness. Now we've got to do something about this. We've got to give them a little something, just enough to quiet them down, not enough to make a difference. He also went on to say, I'll have those N-words voting Democratic for the next 200 years. We haven't even reached 100 years yet, not even close. So we got this La Casa de Guscio again decided to leave another comment and says, this is intellectually dishonest. I hope you voted locally. And that said, are you saying he did not say that? And I posted the actual link to an article where it shows he actually said it back in 2020. And that heifer didn't reply back. And that was back on November 7th. Now this one right here, this thread right here was the longest one. This one right here with this Robbie person, and shout out to Cosma Fury, because I saw you had left the comment. You said that you got blocked by this person, I believe. So we have this Robbie person right here who is a smorgasbord of things. Let's peep their bio right quick. They said Robbie, they said resistance, fight for what's right, hashtag BLM, hashtag 1619, hashtag justice, hashtag Palestinian lives matter, hashtag stop Asian hate. Racism is evil. Have courage to speak out, stand up, and fight. This person got a lot going on in that bio, and they got even more going on in their name. They got the peace sign. They have an orange and blue sign. And I believe that's probably the symbolism of a flag. They have the Black Power fist. They got the rainbow, and they got the Palestinian flag. Excuse me. But let's go through this, because this one right here was probably the longest reply out of all of them. So Robbie says, but you're okay with voting for a man who said blacks can't rent any apartments, blacks can't count my money, blacks are from shithole countries, blacks are thugs, blacks can't buy in the suburbs, lock blacks up for protesting, Central Park 5 guilty in death penalty, birtherism, etc. Again, where the hell in my post did I tell people to go out and or myself and vote for Trump? It's like, are we looking at two different things? What kind of lens are you looking through? Maybe if you take some of the stuff out of your damn name and off of your bio, you can actually see what the hell I wrote. Because apparently whatever you put up there in your bio and in your name are like goddamn veils and blinders. They keep thinking that me saying this is me, quote unquote, saying to vote for Trump. I did not say that. I don't have hashtag Trump 2024 in the post. It doesn't say hashtag make America great again. It doesn't say hashtag I'm about to become a Republican. It doesn't say any of that. But if you don't say that you are supporting the Democratic Party, or you're supporting Joe Biden, or you're supporting Kamala Harris, you are an enemy. You are an op. To which I replied with, I didn't vote for either one, as they both did not do anything for either of us. It goes on to say, well, then you can't complain. And one of them is a million times worse than the other. Well, that's debatable. Because I think, or tend to believe, both of them ain't shit. Especially when it comes to black people. But if you do nothing, then you're just letting others carry the torch and you have nothing to say. And here's Cosmo Fury, who replied. He just replied about 42 minutes ago. He says, yes, we can. Why the fuck would you vote anyone who does nothing for you but talk about empty promises? And the person replied back with said, your nothing is way off. Why the fuck are you ignoring all the work that's being done just because we haven't gotten everything? Everything? We barely got anything. And then Cosmo Fury replied back and says, what work has directly impacted black people positively? We get lump sum in with people of color, but get the least amount in all the disrespect. And I said a couple days ago, they're both bad. Remember, one of them drafted the 1994 crime bill that heavily affected black men, assuming you care about the well-being of black men. And then they came back and said, like I told you, this one's a very long one. So after I go through this part, I'm going to have to go back and then get back into the groove with some other stuff this person said. And when they started to go back and forth with another one of my followers, they says, yes, he drafted it along with many of our black leaders who also thought then that it would help our communities. They were all wrong. Now, in hindsight, they, including Biden, realized and admitted it. So we move forward and try to find ways for equity and equality. And Biden is doing that. No, he is not doing that. He is doing everything else for everybody else. How many billions of dollars did they send to the Ukraine? How much are they sending overseas right now? Let's just hypothetically say that they wanted to take race out of it. Why isn't any of that money going back into the economy right now as we speak? It's a lot of stuff going on right here in the establishment that needs to be dealt with, but you're allowing the South of the Bordarians and the not so secret invasionists to come in and literally invade our communities. And you see nothing wrong with that. I replied with, how about he cut the check for foundational black Americans, which we know he won't do, but he will continue to give Zelensky billions of dollars. He will give rural Americans billions of dollars. Black people, we just get a damn study and a kick in the ass. And someone named Jeffrey Allen said, and they are systematically on code to do that. Just give us nothing but talk while everyone else gets to benefit from our ancestors. Now, peep this. Now, this is the bullshit right here. Robbie says, we're working on it. Who's we? It says several recommendations are being prepared by state committees. Lots of education is happening. I am disappointed that he will have to be convinced, but at least I know it's possible with him. But we do have a vote in the Dem House and Senate, or it won't happen. So this person is still holding on to hope, or what could possibly happen. These other groups, the Asian American community, they didn't have to hold on to hope. They literally got a whole damn bill in 2021 to protect them. Where's ours? I replied with not working fast or hard enough. He drew his line in the sand. Come 2024, it's over. Truth be told, it may already be over. She says, well, one thing's for sure. If Trump wins, we'll be back in the 1920s. See, again, more of that fear-mongering stuff. Is that so we have at least to keep moving ahead, even if it's slow. So fighting an uphill battle and losing is literally what this Robbie person is doing. Nas said, we were back in the 1920s when he was president for 4 years. If so, give actual examples. And they didn't even reply back to that. So that covers that part. But like I said, there's more to this person's post. Someone said, yep, these ignorant fools think voting for Trump will punish the DNC. Childish. Biden is a bigot too, but he's not as thoroughly evil and dangerous as Trump. If you don't get... Did y'all hear that? Now, this isn't coming from the Robbie person. This is coming from somebody else. They said these ignorant fools think voting for Trump, which we're not saying we're doing, will punish the DNC. Childish. Biden is a bigot too, but notice they admitted that he's a bigot too, but then they inserted, but he's not as bad as Trump, but he is a bigot though. Again, doing that voting for the lesser of two evils logic, the lopsided logic. A bigot is a bigot no matter if they're overt or covert. Hold on, I'm just scrolling down to see if I missed anything. Someone literally just told me to get the F out of here. Oh, okay, whatever. Someone says, you have no idea. My wife voted for that clown, and I have been on her ass ever since. Every dumb thing him and his dog Kamala has done until now, she swears not to vote for him again. He said, I told her I would divorce her if she did. I don't know if this is a troll account or what, but if it is indeed true, kudos to you. Someone says, why not encourage black people to start their own party? I had 2 relatives vote for Trump because Hillary is a woman. Red and blue are the colors of a cock. 2 of the main political parties. Okay, I'm not going to continue reading that. Someone else says, I did not vote for his ass. I saw part of that interview where Biden made that comment live and some other remarks. Flew over black folks' head. It shouldn't have. It was pretty much like literally directly in your face. I don't know how you missed it. Because he is a Democrat. I had told this to others, got confrontational with me over it, convincing themselves that somehow he was the better choice than Trump, despite his long anti-black track record that was laid bare by Professor Black Truth and the Black Channel or Jason Black. What's going on, Rob? But yeah, I just wanted y'all to see this. I think this might be the entire post because I think I scrolled through everything. I'm just scrolling back to make sure that I didn't miss any key points. Because I want to make sure that I air out all of my grievances right now before I forget anything. think that might be everything, because I don't see anything else in here. And the crazy thing is they tried to combat with us even when we was posting up facts in the thread about this whole situation. Here we got this person right here. It says, what would this country look like for black folks had Trump won again? Look at it now. The thing, you know what? We don't have to say look at it now. Look at it now. Look at it under Trump. Look at it under Biden, Bush Jr., Clinton, Bush Sr., Reagan, Carter, Nixon. I mean, it never looked good under any president. If you want to be technical, were there some pockets of black people that were doing well under certain presidents? Of course. But as a collective, no. But again, like I told you, this is that shaming language that they keep trying to use, and they're going to continue to do it all the way up until the election come next November. And I'm telling you right now, that bullshit ain't gonna fly over here with me. And I know many of the people that are watching this right now, it ain't gonna fly over with you. They got a lot of nerve, y'all. But that was pretty much the entire post right there, y'all, that I wanted y'all to see. But Trisha said people don't even let their dislike for Trump to do research. Exactly. It's crazy. That was absolutely insane. It was another post that I had wanted to show y'all. It wasn't attached to my post. It was someone else who had posted something as well, but I couldn't. I should have bookmarked it before I started this stream, so y'all could see the ridiculousness coming from that. It was like just as bad. But yeah, y'all just got a glimpse of my thread from that one post. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they circled the wagon a year from now with the outcome that could possibly come and start typing a bunch of nonsense under it again. As if I give a damn by that point. Like I said, left wing, right wing, conservative, liberal, Democrat, Republican are two wings attached to the same buzzard. And shout out to Hacksign KT for the $5 super chat. He said, B1 family, B1 to you as well. Black Star Racist says they get so mad when you say I'm holding my vote. Exactly. Because again, they'll come back out and say something along the lines of, not voting is supporting Trump. We don't even know if Trump is actually going to get on the ballot. Besides, there's so many other factors that could get Trump in besides us not choosing to vote at all. But they don't want to talk about that because we are considered the low-hanging fruit. We are seen as the easy and soft target to beat on or beat down because they've been so used to doing it, getting it happen to them for so long that now they want to pass the buck. They are so full of shit. And they're going to be very upset come next year. It's going, like I said, it's going to be a lot of tears overflowing. So much tears. In fact, you could start up what's that biblical thing that the next flood. Oh, well. So you can try to do the shaming language and all the Jedi mind tricks and all of that nonsense that you want to try to use on me or anybody else. I can't really speak for anybody else because I'm not living in their body or have their mind. But as for me, you cannot utilize that on me and think that's going to fly. I literally posted what he said and what she said. You can go and look up what the both of them said and you'll see for yourself. And you know they said it. If they're not doing anything specifically for us. We don't want it. And with that being said, I'm going to bring this stream to a close. We got this done in under an hour. Shout out to everybody who came through. Shout out to everybody who hit the super chat. Shout out to Janesta, Denise, MML, and Hacksign KT. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. Shout out to my members. Also, be sure to check out the merch if you haven't done so already. And shout out to all the people who have supported the merch store as well. I appreciate that as well. Shout out to all of the people following me on Instagram, Twitter, people in the Discord. I appreciate you all as well. I'm about to get up off of here. We will be back on here tomorrow. And I'm going to say it right now. I'm going live again tomorrow. Y'all are getting 2 Triple Ps tomorrow. One is going to be pre-recorded and one is going to be a live stream. Y'all will see the premiere windows and the live stream window for this in a few hours. But we'll be back on here tomorrow around maybe before this time or maybe around the same time as I was today. With that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your day. Be safe and be one.